now for something completely different. Hello, Tico here. Hope everyone's well and safe as normal, and welcome to the third part of the second episode of Tico Ventures, where we'll be exploring the chase line in the West Midlands. So the following stations we shall be visiting today are Whitton, Hamstead, Tame Parkway, Bescot Stadium, Walsall, Bloxwich, Bloxwich North, Landywood, Cannock, Hednesford, Rugeley Town and Rugeley Trent Valley. So without further delay, let us get on with it. As we make our way to our first station, Witton, we pass the site where in a few years' time will be the site of Birmingham's HS2 terminus station from London. Picture is the station of Whitton. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. The station is a 5-minute walk from Villa Park Stadium, home to, without question, the greatest football team in the West Midlands, Aston Villa. Facilities at Whitton include benches, bins, bus stop, dot matrix boards, help points, a waiting shelter, and 2 waiting shelters that are only open on match days. The station's head code is Pt3. So we're now waiting for the 0937, which will take us to our next station, Hamstead. Between Whitton and Hamstead is the temporarily closed station of Perry Bar, which is currently having its long overdue refurbishment in preparation for next year's Commonwealth Games. The station is set to reopen in May 2022. Picture is the station of Hamstead. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. Passengers can change at Hamstead for Perry Hall Park and the Sandwell Valley, which is a green belt in the West Midlands County, and it is really worth visiting. Honestly, it's brilliant. Facilities at Hamstead include benches, bins, dot matrix boards, help points, self-serving ticket machines, ticket office with a waiting room, and waiting shelters. The station's head code is HSD. We are currently waiting for the 1012, which will take us to our next station, Tame Parkway.
Between Hamstead and Tame Parkway was the site of Newton Road Station, lasting between 1837 and 1945.
In this picture is the station of Tame Parkway. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Facilities at Tame Parkway include bins, bicycle storage, car parks, dot matrix boards, help points, a ticket office with self-serving ticket machines, a waiting room and waiting shelters. The station's head code is TAB. We are now waiting for the 10:47, which will take us to our next station, Bescot Stadium.
Railway service to Walsall.
In this picture is the station of Bescot Stadium. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. The station is also on the site of the Bescot Freight Yard and Goods Yard, goods depot as well. It is also next to the M6 motorway, which is why it's so noisy. It is also the site of Bescot Junction. The line heading to the left is a freight-only line to Wolverhampton. The line to the right continues on to Walsall. The station gets its name from Bescot Stadium, home of Walsall City Football Club. Facilities at Bescot Stadium include benches, bins, dot matrix board, help points, self-serving ticket machines, a ticket office and waiting shelters. The station's head code is BSC. We are now waiting for the 11:04, which is late, which will take us to our next station, Walsall. In this picture is the station of Walsall. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 3 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. Walsall was one of the most hard-hit stations in the UK during the reshaping of British Railways, as it lost services to Stourbridge, Dudley, Lichfield, Wolverhampton, Sutton Park, Burton-on-Trent, and even to Rugeley before the Chase line reopened. Facilities at Walsall include benches, bins, bus stop, bicycle storage, car parks, dot matrix boards, help points, lifts, self-serving ticket machines, ticket office, trains pulling in, vending machines, waiting shelters and waiting rooms. The station's head code is WSL.
Rugeley Trent Valley.
So we're now on the 11:33, which will take us to Bloxwich, and my phone is playing up with the storage, so I won't be filming any facilities from now on. I'll just be looking around, seeing what I can memorise. In this picture is the station of Bloxwich. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. It is one of 2 stations serving the area of Bloxwich, the other being Bloxwich North. Facilities at Bloxwich include bins, dark matrix boards, help points, self-serving ticket machine and waiting shelters. The station's head code is BLX. We are waiting for the 12:16, which will take us to the second station of Bloxwich, Bloxwich North. Now that is awesome. In this picture is the station of Bloxwich North. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. Facilities at Bloxwich North include bins, a car park, dark matrix boards, help points, self-serving ticket machine and waiting shelters. The station's head code is BWN. We are now waiting for the 12:41, which will take us to our next station, Landywood. In this picture is the staggered station of Landywood. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. Facilities at Landywood include bins, bus stop, car park, dark matrix board, help points, self-serving ticket machines and waiting shelters. The station's head code is LAW. We are waiting for the 13:22, which will take us to our next station, Cannock.
Welcome aboard this West Midlands Railway service.
Lord! In this picture is the station of Cannock. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. Cannock is the starting point for the Cannock Chase Heritage Trail, running from Cannock Station to Rugeley Trent Valley Station. You cannot afford to miss it, as it does sound like a lovely trail. Indeed. Facilities at Cannock include bins, dark matrix board, help points, self-serving ticket machines and waiting shelters. The station's head code, I believe, is CNK.
We are now waiting for the 1349, which will take us to our next station, Hednesford.
In this picture is the station of Hednesford. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. Facilities at Hednesford include benches, bins, car park, dark matrix boards, help points, self-serving ticket machines and waiting shelters. The station's head code is HFD.
We are awaiting the arrival of the 1430, which will take us to our next station, Rugeley Town.
In this picture is the station of Rugeley Town. It is managed by West Midlands Trains and it has 2 platforms. Additional services are provided by London North Western Railway. It is one of 2 stations serving the town of Rugeley, the other being Rugeley Trent Valley. Facilities at Rugeley Town include bins, car park, dark matrix boards, help points, self-serving ticket machines and waiting shelters. The station's head code is RGT.
We are waiting for the next train, which is the 1501 to Rugeley Trent Valley. Now, you join me at my local station of Ashchurch or Tewkesbury in the early hours of the morning, because basically when I got to Rugeley Trent Valley, my phone ran out of storage space, despite my best efforts to create as much space on my phone as possible, which means I could not do the station analysis of Rugeley Trent Valley, but I did manage to take a photo. So here's Rugeley Trent Valley's analysis. In this picture is the station of Rugeley Trent Valley. It is managed by London North Western Railway and it has 3 platforms. Additional services are provided by West Midlands Trains. Of the 2 stations serving Rugeley, Trent Valley is the oldest, the largest and the busiest, as it is on the Rugby to Stafford section of the West Coast Main Line. Facilities of Rugeley Trent Valley include benches, bins, bicycle storage, car parks, dark matrix boards, help points, self-serving ticket machines and waiting shelters. The station's head code is RGL.
So yeah, I do apologise about the phone problem, but there is a solution to this. I have actually found like a little memory stick where you could use on your phone, and then there's a USB end where you can plug into your laptop or computer, so that will give me additional storage space. You need an app though to run it, but I hope you've enjoyed episode 2. Part 1 we ventured out onto the cross city line from Bromsgrove, Redditch to Lichfield Trent Valley. Part 2 we ventured out from Coventry to Wolverhampton with a bit of a battery problem at Birmingham. And then part 3 the chase line with additional storage problems at Rugeley.
But yeah, I hope you've still enjoyed it despite the problems. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and stay safe, everybody. I'm off to work now.